There's a war against who we are and where we're going, and it's just the momentum of life, the fast pace. It's just like we're riding the wave.
Yes.
And when we pause to reflect, it's like, do I want to be on this wave? Did I catch the right wave?
It's the shame also that clouds our judgment, that prevents us from stepping outside of that space. And that's exactly where the enemy wants us to be, in that place of shame and guilt.
This is the culture now of the cancel culture. So I've cut myself off from this family member because of their political beliefs. I've cut this person off because they don't agree with me spiritually. I've cut this person off because of this. We are in the culture of like, if you don't think alike on every level, they're dead to me. Welcome back to the 5-Star Life Show. I'm your host, Coach Seth, and we have a special guest. If you're a regular follower of our show, you know that this is not a new guest. She is a very familiar face. Her name is Cherri Kulp, and she has this incredible practice called Unearth Coaching. I know you're rebranding,
Yes.
but really she drills down and gets to the core, the internal garden of a person's life, and kind of lives there and helps you. So many people think that change comes from without. They're looking for Band-Aids, looking for quick fixes, microwave, right? Pills. And the stuff that lasts is internal.
Absolutely. Those things have taken root. And I take my clients to one or two places, depending on where they are. And one place is to their Garden of Eden, their very beginning. What took place that created the limited beliefs, that created that inability to regulate one's emotion. Or I take them to the scene of the crime where something traumatic took place, and we're going around collecting evidence to solve this crime so that way you can live free and live more boldly.
I love it. It's so good. One of the things that we just actually recorded in studio is a lesson for kids all over the country, teaching them how to thrive through adversity.
Mm.
And this holiday season, it's weird. It's like, they say it's the most wonderful time of the year, but so many of us have a lived experience that's not the most wonderful time of the year. And I think the more adversity you have and the more challenge in your family history, the more difficult this time of year can be.
I can agree and attest to that myself. It's so funny because my brother and I, who were very close, we had a conversation about Christmas because, again, we grew up in poverty. Our parents were both drug addicts and alcoholics and were like in and out. And so we had to struggle a lot. And so when it comes to Christmas, both of us are married now, and they come from traditions where everyone comes together and exchange gifts. And we're like, what is this? This is kind of weird, right? What you mean gifts? And so this has been a new experience for us because we're both newlyweds, if you will. He got married a few months after I did. And so we're like, okay, we're having family traditions. Okay, does this feel weird that we feel weird? And so it can be very challenging for people whose upbringing has been filled with a lot of adversity. And so it's about, being renewed and reframing things. And when I think I said this before, my brother always said to me, that served you then, but it doesn't serve you now, right?
Good.
That mindset served you then to survive, but it doesn't serve you now because that mindset can blow up everything that's good around you, right? So it can be very challenging for people.
So what? I'm just curious. Having that upbringing in Christmas was not this special time of tradition and gift giving. That was not a part of your brother's story. How was the transition? I mean, is it like easy to jump into that, or is that hard? And did that trigger? Did it trigger like the past memories, and you have to battle that while you're trying to enjoy yourself?
Your question reminds me of when you have a question, they say A, B, D, A, B, C, D, D, all of the above. I'm going to say all of the above, right? It wasn't easy. It has been very hard, and it does bring up very painful memories. And also, it allows us to realize If we stay in this mindset, we will lose this thing that we prayed for so long.
Mhm.
This thing that God has gifted us, that's before us, that we've just cried about for years as children, wanting to be in a family that was filled with love
Mm.
and laughter and joy. And so knowing the pain of that experience has been a great teacher to know that we don't want to be there again. So we work very hard. We have our jokes because, humor is often developed through adversity because you got to survive and everything is a joke.
Comedy is based on tragedy.
Listen, all the greatest comedians had crazy
Yeah.
upbringings, right? And so, but we both realize that it's okay to be in this place.
Yeah.
You talk about compassion, having empathy, and having the vocabulary, and the internal tools to be at peace with, okay, this is a part of the experience of change, right? Changes can be challenging, but it's okay. But the first couple years, yeah, it was a little crazy. We was like,
Mhm.
what you mean? But it's worth it. A change mindset, be ye renewed by the change of your mind, right? It's beautiful.
I love that you are not stuck. I mean, people would have no idea what you've been through because you're not stuck in your past.
Correct.
And I think about like some people think, well, it's kind of a simple thing. I mean, you're giving gifts, you're creating fun traditions. It's like, yeah, but I know so many people that have been stuck in a cycle that they've been out of physically. Like they're not in that cycle, but they're still in the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious, talk to that a little bit for people out there that maybe they're stuck in the cycle and maybe they've embraced it as their lot in life. How would you address that and what steps can they take?
I would say choose ye this day. Which mindset are you going to serve? Right? And know that you deserve this and more. And whenever my old wounds rise up or a thought or two, I think about Cherri, you are in the last chapter of Job. Like this is where you're getting the double for your trouble, right? Embrace it. This is God's gifts to you
Mm,
and take it, right? You deserve it. So
mm,
it's not easy, I understand, but choose ye this day which mindset you are going to serve.
mm. That's a good word. There is, kids going through diversity. There's so many kids that are going through it in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all face like adversity is just a regular part of life.
Yeah.
Everybody will face adversity. It's not like a question of if you've been through all the adversity in your life you're going to face,
Mm-hmm.
because we're in a fallen, broken world, and we are people that are growing, but we
Mm-hmm.
haven't been perfected yet. And
Yes.
so the diversity is going to come, but what we're teaching them is how do you thrive through it? Because so many people wrong would think that, man, when I get to the side, when I get
Mm-hmm.
to the side, it's like, no, 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 don't cheat yourself, because thriving can continue through the adversity.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And think about the person you are going to be. And it's not about going through adversity, it's the growing through adversity, right? And if we think about Joseph, the one with the coat of many colors, he would not have had the skill set
Mm,
to save a nation if he had not gone through that adversity, that grown through that adversity, if you will. There are things that we are given, the wisdom that is only given through pain, that is going to benefit not just ourselves, but everyone around us. And so when I am in a situation, I'm like, Cherri, the woman that you are going to be on the other side, can't wait to meet her,
mm, mm-hmm.
right? It is that excitement of knowing that I am being fine tuned, crafted, and molded for God's greater purpose.
Yeah.
And I can't do it no other way but to grow through some things, right? And so sometimes I go back and read my diary from years ago. I'm talking about in my early 20s. I still have my first poem I wrote when I was 9, just to go back and travel in time, if you will. And my God, it was painful. My God.
One of the things that sticks out with what you just said, you're talking about the person that you see. You
Hmm.
have an identity,
Yes,
and you have a clear identity that I think shifts the way you look at adversity.
absolutely.
So you see your identity very clearly, and you see that on the other side, all this adversity can do is build you up.
That's all. That's it. And there's a quote that says, "If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change."
Hmm.
And it's all about reframing your belief system.
That's good. It's a good word. And I want to pause here. We're going to come back here and take a commercial break. But before we do, I want to talk to parents and grandparents out there that maybe just came through the holiday season and you're doing some reflecting on your family dynamic, doing some reflecting on the state of your relationship with your kids. Um, our organization, we work with tens of thousands of kids, and we've developed an app. And this app, we're using it with our public school partners, with our internal programs, but we're starting to now let the world latch onto this app. And so we want to give you an opportunity. And I guess the question I want to ask you is, um, what would peace and connection with your kids mean to you? Like, what would that be worth? That's something to think about. And we'll talk more right after the break. At Five Star Life, we talk a lot about the right tools. See, the hammer is the courage to be the best person you can be. The chisel is the respect you give and the respect you earn. The level, that's the integrity that keeps you balanced in a world that's always shifting. And the saw represents responsibility. It is what separates you from harmful actions and experience. It's the sacrifice it takes to work hard and be your best. Tools, when they're all used together, things are built. There's progress, but where there are no tools, there can be no progress. We give these important tools to kids every single day, and we couldn't do it without our partners like Global Link Distribution. Global Link supports this mission so that these values, courage, respect, integrity, responsibility, and sacrifice become the tools these amazing young people use to become great. Global Link Distribution is a leader and supplier to the RV, manufactured housing, cabinet shop, cargo, and horse trailer industries, but they're also a proud sponsor of this program to help Five Star Life students thrive. It is our turn to see to it that our children have the tools that build greatness. Volunteer or donate today at fivestarlife.org. Welcome back to the Five Star Life Show. I'm your host, Coach Seth, and we've got a fun guest, Cherri Kulp with Unearth Coaching. I know you're doing a rebrand, so we'll put everything in the notes, whatever, if the rebrand comes out before the show comes out. But thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And, we were just talking, I want to go back to our listening audience because we have this 5-star app and we're talking about adversity. And I just want to bring something to you because we've developed curriculums and programs and tools for 20 years, but we've never developed an app that was such a powerful tool in the palm of your hands that could equip parents and grandparents to reconnect with their kids. And it's like, as parents, there's nothing you want more than to help your kids through adolescence, which is the most challenging time of being a child. Adolescence is that transition, right? And you feel lost, you feel discouraged. And we work with so many parents that are just so distraught, just like at their wits' end. And then there's parents that are totally aloof. They think that everything's great, and then they're shocked when they wake up one day and like, what happened to my son or daughter? And what we've done is we've created an app that has so many master classes for wherever you are, whether it's how to teach kids how to master conflict. You have conflict within your home or them with other peers, helping them build confidence, get a sense of identity. We have a master class and a series of lessons for anything you're going through. And I encourage you to check that out. And I guess the question is this, how much money would you pay to help your kids connect with you through adolescence and build a healthy dynamic instead of losing your kids as they become teens? The older they get, the more you grow apart. Like, what is what is the worth of that? And what I'm telling you is that we have something that it will provide an incredible outcome. Family after family has reported, this has brought our family back together. I'm having conversations I've never had. We're engaging like never before. Like, my kid actually is talking to me. I'm learning tips and tricks of how to connect and engage. So go to our website, and actually you can just go to your Android, either Google Play Store, Apple Store, download it, 5-Star Life app, check it out, and enjoy it. It's like, I don't know, $4.99 a month or something. It's like peanuts to impact your family. So anyways, enough on that. Advertisement over. Cherri, you got something in your mind?
Mm. I have Several things on my mind. Um, I I really enjoyed our conversation that we had last time on forgiveness. And it kind of ties into adversity and how
Mm,
adversity, when we are wounded by whether it's a family member or a classmate, that unforgiveness can take root and change one's personality. And I had to reflect. We talked about reflection on, has my personality changed in the past, or am I on the brink of changing now because of some things that I am growing through?
mm.
And so I just want people to be beware of how unforgiveness can take root and change one's personality, and reframing how you look at that adversity that you're in right now. Um and then we talked a little bit about this last time. Forgiving my parents was very hard,
Yeah.
right? But very freeing. And I think what took place was when my father, rest his soul, said to me, "How long are you going to hold this over our head?" And it wasn't anything I said, it was how I was acting towards them.
Mm,
It was the passive aggression,
yeah.
it was withholding the love from them to get back at them,
Mhm.
right? And so we have to be careful of not letting adversity tear us apart inwardly,
Yeah.
and walk in the spirit of forgiveness, not just for them, but for you.
Mm,
And so that's just something that's been ruminating in my mind, because it can create a doorway for the enemy to come in and take root and do some damage, not just within yourselves, but generations, because how we raise our children. If we
yeah.
raise them with the spirit of unforgiveness that we're not dealing with, they too can learn how to be unforgiving.
Absolutely.
And it just keeps going and going and going. So that is something that has been on my mind.
Yeah, I sat through a workshop, yesterday, and the whole workshop was all about, building a family legacy,
Mm,
and, super powerful, and their whole thing is, like, plan for 150 years.
yes.
So, like, think beyond today, think beyond next week, and just getting your kids off to college and being a grandparent, like, think generational.
Absolutely. Even Proverbs talks about that. We are
Yeah.
responsible to leave generational wealth. The
Mhm.
wise does that.
Yeah.
We are always living in the moment, and that is robbing the next generation of what they could have.
It's like, what does your family stand for? What is
Hmm.
your family about? What's your family identity?
Hmm.
Because, one of the reasons that so many kids are struggling is because they have no family identity. They don't know who
Hmm.
they are,
Hmm.
right? And we're in such a fast-paced society that we, as parents, we kind of almost feel bad about being too organized and being
Hmm.
too, like, family is just supposed to be natural. It's supposed to be
Hmm.
organic. We just go with the flow, which there's moments to do that for sure. That's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a vision for who your family is, your kids won't have a strong identity of who they come from
Yeah.
and what's possible. And so it's fascinating to think about. As you go through adversity, one of the things that builds family legacies, or that really uh, prevents a family from having a strong legacy or an identity, is how they deal with adversity.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I can even hear rebuttal saying, well, they're just trying to survive. They don't have time to do all these things. And one of my pet peeves is our crutches. Because as we talked about before, a lot of people don't know all that I've grown through. So I
Right?
don't look like my past. And so people are like, well, you just saying it because you come from a place of privilege.
Yeah.
Honey, I've worked very hard, right? And even during in the survival mode, I had a mustard seed of, I know there's something better. I know there's something greater than this. It's all about having that mustard seed. And I believe that God will put people in your path that will help you get to that next stage. It's about that mustard seed.
And I think one of the things, if you want to create a family legacy, and you start thinking about, like, what are some of the top of your head things that you want in your family legacy?
Mm.
What do you want your family to be known for? What are the identity pieces?
Yes, I want them to be known. or us to be known as loving, caring, kind servants of God. Wealth will come later, right? Um, I want us to have good character. You know, I say you come from good stock,
Mm-hmm.
right? People know your family name because, oh,
Yeah.
those are good people,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That is worth its weight in gold.
Mm.
That is the legacy that we are building each and every day.
Yeah. That's good. One of the things that we we don't want in our family legacy is uh, disunity and dissension, and because we're now in the day and age where we are all about. And please, I'm going to preface what I'm going to say. I'm going to put a disclaimer before I say it because people will freak out. Not our listeners, but anybody that's tuning in, they don't get where I'm coming from. But this is the culture now of the cancel culture. So I've cut myself off from this family member because of their political beliefs. I've cut this person off because they don't agree with me spiritually. I've cut this person off because of this. We are in the culture of like, if you don't think alike on every level, they're dead to me. And it's so interesting to think about how we got here, where where this is the new reality, where if they don't like the music or they don't like the how we vote, all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I'm done with them. They need help, and I can't be around them. This is what families become.
Yes, sadly.
Instead of, isn't it supposed to be the place that family can talk? Like, it, shouldn't families be able to have conversations and talk through and work through,
Yes.
and then say, Cherri, we think differently about this.
Right.
I think you're crazy, but I still love you.
Exactly.
I think you're absolutely insane in this area.
right.
But over here, you're brilliant, you're amazing, you're talented, but you're crazy over here. It's okay. But I love you. Isn't that what family's supposed to do?
It should be. And you know what's so interesting? Some of my clients have a very challenging time having crucial conversations because they don't know how to engage in a conversation with someone who doesn't agree with them. And that can be very dangerous.
Well, that's because that skill isn't being taught anywhere. Matter of fact, what's being preached to us through every media possible is because fear sells and division works towards those who control us. Um, it's just the wave that we're riding right now as a culture is to focus on what separates us instead of focusing on what unites us, and choosing love at the deepest level, and choosing grace. And as a person of faith, I mean, what the Apostle Paul said, you know what, on some of these issues, we can just disagree. Like the Holy Spirit will have to reveal that to each other, but we are not going to fight about it.
Right.
That's a powerful. But
And
thank you for joining. We are actually out of time.
oh, I was going to end it on a caveat, but
Next one. Stay tuned.
Yeah, next one.